Welcome everyone to the Tarot Magicians channel. This message is for someone who can't let go. And the reason I say that is because you've got the death card showing up here. And this death card is one of my favorite because here we have a representation of La Santa Muerte. This is a Mexican holiday where they essentially celebrate their passed down loved ones, people who are just no longer here. They have a big parade, a big feast. It's beautiful. I wish that more cultures would embrace that beautiful energy. And, you know, we're going to dive into the cards here a little bit more intensely to see what it is that you are needing to let go of, but unfortunately just can't. Ultimately, this energy, this thing, is sapping you of your energy, sapping you of your future prospects. And it's essentially leading you down this path of dependence on someone else, an inability to depend on yourself. You do have an oracle card here that speaks of that with the beggar. The beggar actually came out reversed, and when it essentially reads dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So a lot of you are depending on someone. So this could be a boyfriend, a family member, whoever. You're depending on someone, and you're not essentially growing. That's what the cards are saying here. We also do have an oracle card that speaks of highlighting your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So, a lot of you have this, and this is the card, the Saboteur. A lot of you have this fear of, well, what would happen if I step out, if I go into the unknown, if I take that journey, if I take that quest, if I try something new, right? There's a sense of fear, my goodness, and it's kind of crippled you. But here's the thing, the only way that you're going to build strength, and here we have a representation of that. I pulled 4 tarot cards, by the way, and 3 oracle cards. And here we have a representation of that. We have the strength card. This is what's on the other side of that fear. This is what's on the other side of letting go, okay? You are going to build strength. If you don't let go, you will always be dependent on a person, on this human being. You'll always be dependent possibly on this job. Doesn't have to be someone. Ultimately, the oracle cards do point towards a person. So there's definitely a strong draw towards someone, but ultimately this can be anything. We do have the card of finances. We do have the card of potentially a career or a job. Here we have the 2 of Pentacles. This is someone who's finding balance in this rock. This rock can be anything, right? It could be a job, it could be entrepreneurship, ventures, or a person. But this 2 of Pentacles, this person here is finding balance. There's chaotic waters behind her, and she's having to kind of navigate through this chaos, right? And trying to find that balance in order to reach a point where, in order to reach temperance, in order to reach a point where she understands what needs to be added, what needs to be subtracted from her life. Temperance is a card of action and passivity. It's a card of mixing the different elements to create something new. There's a sense of alchemy with temperance, right? And so in many ways, a lot of you are being asked to try something new, to go out into the unknown. A lot of you are unfortunately not taking this step, and it's to your detriment, okay? That's what the cards are trying to really illuminate here. You are stepping back, or you're staying stuck in the same energy. It's the same kind of kiddish, I'm not really going to do much, I just want to play kind of energy. It's like you're going back in time, right? For some reason I got this image of you going into the witch's house and eating the witch's candy, right? You ever see those stories of like young children in the woods, and they come across this beautiful house of candy, and inside is a witch, and the witch just kind of bewitches them with all of the goodies, right? And the candy and the good vibes, right? But the witch wants to eat them and consume them, right? And so in some ways, some of you are dating someone or in a relationship with someone who's trying to consume you. And the only way for you to grow and to gain strength is to just walk away. And here's the thing, this is going to be the hardest thing that you're ever going to do in your life, which is why the death card showed up reversed. You don't want to take this step. This is going to be something very difficult. The death card being a major arcana number 13 speaks of a big drastic change. Whenever a major arcana shows up in a reading, it's drastic. It's not, it's not an energy of like, I'm just passing by and maybe today we'll do this. No, when a major arcana shows up, there's a sense of seriousness. If you take this step, if you move forward, your life will change forever. You will build that strength that you've been lacking. You will find the balance financially that you have not been able to, unfortunately, enjoy in your life. And you're going to be able to add different elements into your life that are going to really just make your life very enriching, very flavorful, very just, you're just going to be able to enjoy things, right? And so in many ways, you have to step out. We do have another oracle here that speaks of a child, which is why I use that, witch in the forest analogy, but the magical child. And the magical child actually came out reversed. And so it speaks of pessimism, speaks of depression, it speaks of a disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. And so, a lot of you have this mentality where it's like, I'm not going to really plan anything, or I'm not going to really look too far ahead into the future. I'm just going to kind of wait to see what happens. And that is the energy of the child that gets taken advantage of. That is the energy of the child that gets pushed around, gets bullied. We are not meant to be bullied and to be pushed around for too long. It's okay to be pushed around and bullied for some time, because that shows us, hey, this is not something I want to engage in. This is not something I want to be a part of. I want to be a leader. I want to be an alpha. I want to be an animal. I want to be a tiger. I want to take over, right? And that energy is something that is inside all of us. Every single one of us is an alpha at some point in our lives. And I think that this energy right here is the energy of someone who's just, you don't want to step into that role. You don't want to step into that leadership role. You want to stay where you are. You're comfortable. You think that it's always going to be this way. But unfortunately, it isn't. You have to step out into the world. You have to engage. You have to just run into trouble. And I'm not talking about reckless trouble, like reckless abandonment, like doing stuff that is just detrimental, and it's just, you're doing it just to piss people off. No, I'm talking about actually engaging with the world, stepping into a true leadership role. That's the only way that you're going to be able to come out of whatever it is that you're in. And again, we go right back to the beggar card, right? The beggar is dependent on others to the exclusion of effort. We go right back to the saboteur, right? Which is highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. You are not feeling empowered. You're waiting for someone else to tell you you're great, you're gonna do it, you're wonderful. But no. And ultimately, a lot of you, you've been through a hard time, which is why you've got the child, the magical child showing up here, which speaks of depression. It speaks of heartbreak. A lot of you have been through so much heartbreak and chaos in your life that you've stopped believing in magic. You stop believing that it's possible. You stop believing that you can do it, right? And you can't lose hope. You can't lose faith. You cannot break down and become someone who is just dependent on whatever the next person says, or mom or dad or my brother or sister or my employer, my boss, my partner, even my husband or wife. You have to step into your role. And your role is that of an alpha right now. It requires that kind of energy to step into the energy of the death card reversed, right? Because this is a scary card. Look at this thing, right? This is the Grim Reaper that has come to essentially tell you, get up, get off your butt, and get it done. And if you don't get it done, you're going to suffer. You're going to just suffer. The people around you are going to suffer. And you're just, at some point, one day you're going to open your eyes and you're going to be 10 years older, and you have not taken one step towards your dreams and ambitions. Some of you don't even know what those dreams and ambitions are, because you haven't even taken pen to paper, and you haven't written the pros and cons, and you haven't prayed, and you haven't just delved into your spirituality, into your inner psyche, tried to figure out why things are. Why is it that every single relationship is worse than the last? Why is it that you can't let go of the past? Why? Some of you have not engaged with your shadows. You have not confronted that shadow and that darkness. And so you haven't been able to integrate it into your psyche, and it's leading you down the path of perdition. That is what this reading is saying. It is some scary stuff. But again, on the other side of this fear, on the other side of this is the Strength card. My goodness. And look at this. Look at this girl right here, right? She is just ready to take on anything. She is just ready to just overpower her enemy. She is ready to just be a source of strength and power and dynamism. Here we have, I forget her name, so I'm looking her up. This is the goddess Durga Puja. She is essentially a representation of victory. There's a sense of just wildness, primal strength as well. And so, just take a look at her, right? Just take a look at her epicness, right? There's a sense of warrior energy here, right? Demonstrating that you are connected to some kind of powerful entity, right? We have here her with her sword, with her staff, with her conch, with her arrows. This dude is completely just way in over his head, right? He can't take her on. Hell no. She is there to overcome and to be a source of true strength and power. And that is who you are, okay? That is who you are. But for some reason, you've chosen to turn your mind off, to turn yourself off to the world, to not engage, to not go after it. It's very easy to just shut your mind off today, because we're all living a fake reality TV show. Every single day that you wake up and you share something on social media and you think that's enough, you're taking apart. It's like you're living in this fake reality. We've created a world within a world digitally, and we're all just living there, and we think that's real. It's not real. It really isn't, right? We look at people with followers like if they're God or something, right? It's not real. It's all an illusion, right? So what is real? You're real. You are able to go out, step into the world, and make something happen with your own hands. And so, yeah, I think that some of you, for some reason, I don't know why I've delved into social media or even talked about that, but I think some of you are paralyzed by social media, the perfection and the beauty of social media, and you don't realize that it's all just an illusion. It's not real. So step out into the unknown so that you can reach true heights of glory. Stop being fearful and connect. That is what I see here.